Originally, lockdown defenders was not supposed to be as ball dominant as they were this year. In NBA 2K20, we're going to try to make the lockdown defender build a role player type build again as it was in the past 2K games. Now y'all see the question I asked Mike Wayne. Let's get into this gameplay, man. So, in 2K19, everything changed once people started doing this. 2 Elite 3s, Elite 2, all lockdown defenders. 2 small forwards, 1 shooting guard. Now, in 2K19, first in 2K17, lockdowns were never this overpowered. Even on the defensive end. But the lockdowns still were useful because it was still a role-playing build. It will come in and get some of those clutch steals from you. Those clutch stops. Now this year, the lockdown defender build is overpowered. It's damn near a stretch big build. It's damn near a point guard. It can do everything. People just think just because they're not doing dribble moves, it's okay. And they learn how to just cheese and dribble around. Now this game, it was tough, it was tight. Look how these lockdowns are playing, and look how long this game lasted just because this new play style of lockdowns is L2ing, trying to do that speed boost around you, that L2 speed boost. If anybody thinks this is skill, you just are a weak person. Now, why do you have a shooting guard in the game? Why do you have a stretch big in the game if you have a lockdown that could just sit in the corner in green automatically? I was just watching a person, and understand this, it's not just lockdowns are just shooting without any boost or anything like that. They're using boost. So at that point, they can lock you up, play crazy defense, and score on the offensive end. What was the point of having the other builds in the game? Where's the balance at? You guys understand this. You guys know what it is. Lockdowns only have to press square. Square, that's it. Come up to you and press square and they'll get a steal. And they boost their steals. So where's the balance at? This is 3 lockdowns. Look how they're just stealing the ball all over the court. This is what the weak players have came to. They either got a stretch big, which takes no skill, or a lockdown defender. Stretch big shoot. So many whites make them. It's okay. All the other builds work hard for their buckets, regardless. Even if they know how to dribble and dribble crazy, they learned how to do that. They learned how to get the stick skill to do that. They learned how to become nice like that. But we're still going to score because against lockdowns, you just got to screen them and you got to play real life basketball. This is one thing that these people lack. And once 2K's game go back to a skill gap to where there's none of this cheesing and you just have to beat people off of pure stick skill and IQ, so many of these people are going to be fucked. These guys right here that's running 3 lockdown defender lineup, they were so hurt sending us messages talking about they'll drop us off, and we beat them twice in a row. This is 2 games of playing against this. I'm so glad lockdowns are getting a big nerf in 2K20. I guarantee you 100%. Y'all seen the screenshot. I get my sources, I get my leaks. Y'all know this. It's coming around to that time. Now understand, 2K realized how OP the lockdown defender was this year. This was their first year doing it. If you remember the screenshots Mike Wayne put out in the beginning of the year talking about how, yes, lockdown defenders are actually going to be a big change to 2K this year, they're going to revert it back. First, when lockdowns was able to push you, oh man, this game was so toxic. I know y'all remember that. It's tough to score against 3 lockdowns on the court, because they already have a system, a mechanic in the game, a mathematical system that just negates you. When they're around you, they negate you already because they have defensive stopper Hall of Fame. They have all these defensive badges. Their shot contest is very, very high, so they get random crazy to contest that they didn't even expect themselves to get. But they're like, yes, I'm on my lockdown build, so I got it. They don't even care that they don't have a point guard. Look who's running the ball up. Another lockdown defender. Look how he's just spinning. Look how he's coming up the court. And he feels like this is okay. He's a lockdown defender. He can just handle the ball. They passing it around. This is no skill. Any lockdown, I don't care who you are in the comment section, I don't care what you comment, it is no skill and you know it. If you used any other build, like a shooting build or a small forward, any other build, you wouldn't be able to be good. And you know that. You will lose way more. You need that lockdown cheese. You need that defense. You need those little perks to stop people. That's just overpowered. It's not balanced. Now, this was the first year of 2K19, the first new engine, the first new playground. This is our first time seeing all this. Once again, this will be a copy and paste. I'm not worried about what anybody says. You know, I'll have the people in the comment section that's like, hey, how do you know this information? Blah, 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 blah. It's a company. It's a video game company. It's not too much things they can do to trick your mind within a year. But some people are just not on that level yet to understand what I be saying. That's okay. That's cool. Everybody's not going to agree with me. Everybody's not going to like me. That's understandable. But like I said, you will see a major nerf to lockdowns. This year, they're probably going to balance it out more, tune down some of the stuff. I'm pretty sure takeover, archetypes, all this stuff will still be there. At this point, 2K19 became a game to where it was all cheese. People were just pushing in the beginning, coming with 3 lockdown lineups, double lockdown on the 2s, L2ing, being able to handle the ball. In 17, everybody knows this. Who can't agree with me? Drop a like down, let me know in the comment section. You could rip them. When a center tried to come up the court, a glass cleaner, you were picking it from him. He couldn't come up the court and do a behind the back, do a crazy move and get away with it. No, you were going to pick his pocket. They played it way more safe. A stretch big, they didn't shoot in your eye in 17. It started in 18. Come on. It's only been a year. 2K18, 2K19, it's only been a year. They're still trying to balance this shooting stuff out. But 17, they don't realize they had it balanced. Yes, playmakers could shoot, but that was cool with dealing with because you can stop that. But the glitches, the D-padding, and then people are getting praised for it, which is sad to me. It's not basketball. So this is how I know a whole bunch of players that are playing 2K aren't real basketball players. They're not understanding the real game of basketball. They're just people who probably watch it here and there. They go in the game, they say, hey, it's a video game, I'm gonna utilize the exploits in it and cheese and still hold my head high and think I'm good. When there was no D-padding, none of that stuff, the stick skill players were the best players. Now it's all down to the cheese. I honestly can't get down with playing like that. I just can't. I'm not going to have no fun. I have to use my regular build that I know that, hey, I'm using this build because I want to show how much skill I can have and perform with this build. I could go make a stretch, a lockdown, and play the same way everyone's playing. What makes that doesn't make it any fun. I'm not an individual at that point. I'm just following the wave. 16-11. Y'all see how they playing. They got it right now. It looks good for them. You see how slow this game is going? Because you got to play against 3 lockdowns. I promise y'all, 2K is going to change this. So much people have been complaining about it. They're going to change this. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying it's going to revert back to 17, but it's going to revert to where stretch bigs can't shoot in your eye. They're not going to be able to D-pad. They're going to make them bounce slower how they should be. You see how I get that? Thank you, out of bounds. That's how it should go. A lockdown should not be bringing the ball up the court and feeling okay and feeling like, yes, I got ball. I can bring the... What? Come on. Come on now, people. Come on now. When have we ever seen the lineups like this? 17, there was always a point guard on the team. There was always a center, and then there was the last player. This is why I made the 6 pure shot career, because I always had a guard, and then I always had like a glass cleaner or another big that could fill in the spot. Look at the dime I throw right there. You have to trick lockdowns. Like, you literally have to play real life basketball to win against lockdowns in this cheese. If you don't know how to, it's going to be tough. You're going to lose to a lot of the cheese. I told you, the cheese that these players do, the stretch bigs, the D-pads, the lockdowns, Zuli, all these guys that do these D-padding and all this stuff like that, it's a 75% chance of working. It's nothing you can do because your controller mechanics can't keep up with it. When you try to slide back down while he D-pads you real quick, you can't move. The way your player is made, the way the game is set up, you can't move. So that's just a flaw in 2K. And then they're greening with lockdowns. So even if you get a stop, You still have to deal with a lockdown that's going to spam you, and he has boost on. A lot of these dudes win ruffles, they have steals, boosted, and their shot, and block. So it's like, at that point, where's the balance at? I will be fine if the lockdown can't score and he's just clamping me up, but I can score if I get a screen or something and I get a good bucket. But if he can score too the same, if our scoring's equal and I'm a scoring build and he's the defensive build, but he's scoring like he's a scoring build, there's no balance in that. This is why everybody changed it. Everybody had, you want to know if I'm talking facts? Go to the beginning of 2K19. Look at everybody's builds. Y'all see we made the major comeback against these guys. They're so garbage. All three of these players are garbage. Garbage to me, will never get my respect. How do you lose that lead with 3 lockdowns? This is how I'm telling y'all, they are not even smart. If me and my mans that play basketball, me and my squad, use 3 lockdowns, people wouldn't even score. Like, people would rarely even get points because we understand how OP it is and what you have to do to stop people. If you think I'm talking cap, look at the beginning of 2K. Look at all the builds everybody made in the beginning. Everybody was on pure shot creators. Once it got nerfed, damn, let's go to something else. The whole year, I stayed with the 6'10" pure shot creator because I'm not that cheesy type player. I'm not that cheating type player. I can't be stopped just because my IQ and my skill. It's not because of oh, I got something that's just I'm super taking advantage over people. Nah, even a guard can stop me if he plays me right. But I just know how to get around shit. That's a me thing, okay? Understand that. Understand the difference. If I made a stretch big and said, yo, I'm gonna start D-padding, set me a screen, set me off balls, I'm a D-pad and shoot these greens with boost on. All I need is 3 shots. You're already D-padding. It takes 3 shots. Understand how weak the mindset of stretch bigs are. It takes 3 shots to get your takeover. And they D-pad you and get off balls on all of them. And they dribble up the court. Where's the fairness at? Where's the balance at? No, people want to use what's easy. What's the most glitchy? What's the most cheap? Everybody in their mind knows lockdowns and stretches were too OP. People who want to say post scorers, stop talking about the post scorers. They go to the 1v1 courts. Post scorers are not even that OP if you play against them on the 3s. They're not. You can get a post scorer to mess up a few times, go down the court, hit a couple of 3s. On the 3s, they're not. Even on the 2s, they can be stopped if you have a rim protector. So stop saying post scorers are overpowered. Yes, they're overpowered and they can get crazy stuff, but if you know how to play them, they're not. Stretch bigs and lockdowns are the most toxic builds in the game because it requires no skill. Yes, it requires some IQ to use them and know how to do the glitches, but that's what people don't understand. You're just using IQ to utilize glitches. You're not really doing good pick and pops, off ball. No, come on now. No, we know what they're doing. L2, let me back up into him so you can shoot this shot. Green, then they talk trash. I'm better than you. You're telling your friend to hold L2 and back his body up into the defender that's guarding you. And you know they can't get around it once he hits it perfectly. And then you shoot a green. It's not hard to shoot in 2K. Especially when you put on boost. It's not. Especially with a shooting build with Hall of Fame badges. These builds will be nerfed next year. That doesn't mean the builds are going to be trash. It just means the play style will be different. Yes, you're still going to have a big man that's going to be able to stretch the floor and shoot if somebody dimes him up right. But how everybody's walking around, not using a point guard to handle the ball right, being able to make passes, being able to dribble up the court on a lockdown and a stretch big, builds that don't even have good ball handling, but still being able to control the ball. And everyone's okay with this. Everyone's gonna praise. It's gonna be tough for y'all when the skill gap goes back. It's gonna be a tough road for a lot of y'all when the skill gap goes back. When that cheese gets out of the game, that L2 cheese, the D padding, when that's all gone, and it goes back to where people just used to dribble cheese behind screens, who in their right mind wouldn't say they would rather that? Who? You know how bad I be missing the dribble cheese now? Like, yo, that wasn't even nothing, because over time it was easy to lock it up when you just knew how to play good defense in 17. But once this shooting thing came in the game and they start letting people shoot crazy in your eye and it's not even good quality shots, come on now. Even lockdowns are greening up in people's eyes. What in the world, 2K? What's the point? I just can't wait, because I know in 2K20 there's going to be big changes. You already see it right there. Mike Wayne, all these devs are already talking about how there's going to be a lot of big changes, a lot of balances coming to the game. And I can't wait. When this D-padding and all this other bullshit and these glitches and these exploits is out the game, then we're going to see who's really GOATs. We're going to see at that point. Because it's not hard to learn a cheese. It's patterns. It's not hard to learn a few cheeses. It's the same patterns people do. And it's a 75% chance of working, because the game, it's flawed. And they know this. This is why people do it. This is how good you practice and work on a cheese. You know, when you got real players that don't want to do it, you're going to have a disadvantage sometimes when you play against people that utilize them and do it. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Giving y'all the knowledge, letting y'all know what's going down. I'm so glad Lockdowns is going back to role player builds. I'm so glad that they're working on bringing these role playing builds back to where they belong.